Hello and welcome to the Hornet Talk Podcast. This is episode 23 of season 2, episode 3 of the pre-records in the new era of the Hornet Talk Podcast. So, let's go through tonight's episode. So, we are going to start off with a preview of our game against Sheffield Wednesday. Then we're going to talk about a couple of different things. So we're going to start off with, are we in crisis come to the summer transfer market, considering our reliance on loans? With the remaining games of the season, do you predict win, lose, or draw for those fixtures? And we're going to end with a bit of a fun one this evening. What is your favourite Watford FC chant? If you want to get involved in the conversation, just stick your views into the comments, and we will react to them once this has gone out for you all. But before we get started, I'm going to introduce you to my fantastic co-hosting team, as always. So we have George Frakish, Harry Phillips, and Liam Brenton. George, how are you?
Yeah, I'm doing well. Just got back. Went to a Dave concert on Saturday, so that made my whole weekend after. Obviously, we weren't playing, which is a bit of a disappointment, but I'm doing great. How about you, though, mate?
Yeah, I'm really good. It's good to be back doing a bit of filming. Good evening, Harry. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. A little bit tired because of the time changes, losing an hour of sleep. But apart from that, all good. I know you're good, Caden, as you've got VIP tickets coming up. So I hope you're probably very excited about that.
Yeah, I've got hospitality tickets for the Wrexham game. So that's quite exciting coming up. Good evening, Liam. How are you?
Good evening, Caden. I'm pretty well. Excited to be going to the next 3 Watford matches in a row, including tonight's match against Sheffield Wednesday. Can't get my words out. So, yeah, really looking forward to it.
Well, I'm going to hand over to the host of the previews, Liam. So, Liam, take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Caden. Now, I'm excited, as I said, to be back watching the Hornets this evening. Now, many fans will think, "Oh, this is probably we're going to win this." Now, I don't think this is an easier test as we're making it out to be. Obviously, Wednesday, no win in 31 matches. I think their last win came against Portsmouth towards the start of the season. And to be honest, I think they didn't look that great, but they were good at the start of the season. And obviously, in the reverse fixture, it was a 1-1 draw where Vivaldo Semedo got a late equaliser, which really handed us a point, which probably wasn't a well-deserved point looking back at it. And I think I actually was like 3 or something in that game. So, maybe we can have a repeat of when I went to Sheffield Wednesday last time, which was a 6-2 victory. And one of our very well forgotten players scored 4. Not forgotten, but not wanted. And that was Vacuum Bio, obviously at Udinese now. So, yeah, he scored 4 last time we went to Sheffield Wednesday. Now, before I ask the rest of the team a couple of questions, it leads nicely into my question to yourself, Caden. And that is, Matty Pollock could miss out for today's game. Now, obviously, he didn't start the last game, but how big of a blow do you think Matty Pollock is being out injured?
Well, look, everyone will know watching this that I'm a massive Matty Pollock fan. I think he's always consistent and always plays to a really high standard. But am I extremely concerned about his injury? Not necessarily, because we have got brilliant cover. You can bring Stephen and Fooney into the centre-back pairing, or you can bring Gogliachidze, or, we don't want to, but Kevin Caben can also fit there. So I don't think it's as much of an issue, but it's certainly going to be a miss, especially in regards to the leadership role that he holds within the club. Missing that on a match day, yeah, might affect us a bit. But on the pitch, I'm not too concerned, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I sort of agree with you there, Caden. I think we've got a lot of quality in that position. Obviously, Goglia Chidsy's come in and done an okay job. Stefan and Funi, he could go to centre back, which could bring Mark Bowler back into the side, which is definitely another option. And I do like the sound of that. Now, moving on to the next question, which links nicely to a topic later on in the video. Harry, would you say that this game against Sheffield Wednesday tonight is season defining?
Well, honestly, I think every game going into the final couple was season defining, but especially the game tonight. It's a game against a side who hasn't won in forever. It's been 31 games, as you said, Liam, and it's a must win. If we're chasing those playoffs like we claim to be, we have to beat them, and we have to beat them good, comfortably, rack up that goal differential at the same time. And it's important that we start showing sights of a promotion pushing team. And I think the Wednesday game will give us a good thing to push on from that Bristol City win, which was great away performance. Get another one in the row, that would be perfect. So that's my season defining game.
No, I 100% agree. I think it's a test of where we're at with the squad and what needs to change because, quite frankly, I agree with you, Harry. If we don't win this game, then I think we can just write off the season now because, quite frankly, we have to win. There's no other option in this match. I think the rest of the lads would agree with me and you, Harry. I think it's a must win. And I think if we don't win, then playoffs are off, even though I think it's still a tough task to get them, but we're still in with a chance given that we're playing Wrexham, which could close the gap if we beat them on next Tuesday night. Now, George, moving on to the next question, and that is about a certain Italian who we signed as a free agent. Now, do you think it's time that we see Eduardo Bove start this evening?
Well, this evening, I to some extent think that he may start because obviously against Ipswich he did play a full 45 minutes. However, against Bristol he only did feature in the last 4 minutes of the game. So, and against Preston he did play 4 minutes, same as Bristol. So altogether he would have played 54 minutes for the club so far. So I don't think it's sufficient enough for him to start from right when the first ball's kicked. I think he may come on maybe 45th minute, right at half time, and or maybe he'll come on in the 60th minute to have a larger impact from then. Because I think if he starts, yes, it's a very weak Sheffield Wednesday team, but I think he needs to get a bit more into the championship level, you could say. Yes, he was all right, but he wasn't outstanding when he was playing. So no, I don't think that he should start yet.
No, I can see where you're coming from. He hasn't had much game time, and he did get the game time that he wanted against Ipswich, and I thought that was a really solid cameo. I thought he was pretty incredible. But then when you're looking, well, not incredible, but you know what I mean. But when you're looking at games such as Preston, when he came on, he didn't have much time to do anything, and then Bristol City again couldn't really add anything. So I do think maybe a 45 works like we saw against Ipswich. Play him in the second half or play him in the first half. I probably think Kayembe will start over him, much to Caden's despite. But yeah, I think Kayembe will probably start over him. But yeah, it's tough one to call because I like Bove and I do want him to be in midfield. But then obviously we talked about this player last episode, potentially Pierre Ekwa in the midfield. You know, we've got plenty of option there, so I don't think he'll start either. But it's a tough one to call because they're both pretty good players. So. But I completely agree with you, George. I don't think he should start yet. Now, a question to all of you before we go on to predicted lineups, and that is about Jeremy Ngakia. Now, he scored a wonder goal against Bristol City, as we touched upon last episode. Do you think he's going to be influential on this evening's match? And do you think maybe he'll get a goal involvement? I'm going to go to you first, Harry, on this one.
Well, it's his best season in a Watford shirt. He's been great. I think he's got 3 goals and 4 assists. And I'm excited to see what he's done, what he is going to do for the remaining 11 games. I mean, his goal against Bristol City was magical. We've seen him try that multiple times at home, away from home, and it either goes fly over the net or hits a crossbar or just goes smack right into the defender. So when it came off, we were all very happy for him specifically, as well as for the team, as it got us the 3 points against a good Bristol City side. And I think he's going to be influential in the remaining games for us. And he's our best right back that we've had in a while. And we've had him for ages, but this season specifically, he's been injury free. And that is one major reason why he's been magnificent. And I hope it continues going into the remaining games of the season.
No, I agree with you. I think he's been probably he's up there for player of the season at the minute for me. I think because Losers dropped off recently, I think he's in with a good chance. And I think a lot of fans would vote for him for player of the season because a lot of fans have been critical of Loser lately, which myself I am because he hasn't been amazing, but he's been probably one of our better players. So yeah, but no, Jeremy Ngaki are probably most influential player in the squad right now. George, going to you, do you think he can get a goal involvement this evening?
Well, I hope that he does get a goal involvement because obviously he has got 3 goals and 4 assists this season, which is a record for him throughout his whole career. Especially with he's scored 2 wonder goals this season. Obviously, he scored at Olympico against Oxford, where he scored that brace, and obviously that outside of the box goal against Bristol City on the 27th of February. So I think he might get a goal involvement if we even score. But I think my head's telling me that he will, but my head's telling me that he won't, but my heart is hoping that he will.
No, yeah. I can see where you're coming from. Now, going to Caden then, same question to you. How influential do you think he'll be in this game against Sheffield Wednesday? And like the others, do you think he'll get a goal involvement?
Well, look, tonight he's going to be a very, very crucial figure. I don't think it's going to be as easy as people think. I get it. They're 24th and they've been relegated already. But they have been battling and battling and battling, not getting the results, but they haven't been battered at all. So it's going to be a lot tighter than you think. I definitely think that they're going to have a chance. But Ngakia will be key to shutting them off as quickly as possible, and then us just getting up the other end of the pitch and, you know, having some fun against a very, very weak defence. Do I think he'll get a goal involvement? Maybe. He's very high on confidence. So any player that's high on confidence, you know, it's very likely for them to get goal involvements and whatever. He's had a very, very good season so far. I think he can, but yeah, I question whether he will.
No, yeah, I agree with you, Caden. I think it's hard to predict. I think I've asked a bit of a silly question there, but it is quite hard to predict whether a player is going to get a goal involvement because we don't know how the game's going to go. Been talking about goals too much that have scrambled my brain. Now, moving on to our predicted lineup segment. Now, before I go to everyone else's predicted lineup, I will start with mine and get it out of the way. So in goal then, self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through it. Egil Selvik has to be him. Now, given Pollock's injury, I think Mfuni and Gogliashidze could be a good partnership. I think Mfuni's been a brick wall. I do think it's a bit harsh on a Bankwa, yes. So maybe a Bankwa could probably come in for Gogliashidze. So I think I'd like to see that pairing because we saw them against Derby and they were really, really good together. So I like the pairing between them two. Now, left back, as I said, Bola could come back in here because Mfuni could shift from the left back role and go back into a central role, which allows Bola to play there. Again, I don't think Bola's as good defensively. However, he adds a lot of quality in attack with his balls into the box. Now, midfield, I've sort of contradicted myself when I said that Bove wasn't ready to start. However, I do think maybe giving him a 45 might help him. So maybe starting him from the off and giving him 45 and then bringing like Kayembe on or Pierre Ekwa. So I'll put Bove in the midfield for now. And then obviously the two that have been prominent, it has to be Nampalius Mendy and Imran Loser. I think they've been pretty good. I think Nampalius Mendy dropped off a bit recently. Loser, same to him. Think he's dropped off recently. I think it's tough to call whether Loser should be dropped out of the team. I think that's a harsh statement if he was to drop out of the team. But then again, who have we got to replace him? I think he's got to play there. Now, on the left, I don't really like the look of it. However, we're short for options, and I don't really want to play Tom Ince there. I think everyone will agree with me. We don't want to play Tom Ince there. So I've gone for Georgie Chapatadze on the left. I thought he had a really, really good game against Bristol City. He made a brilliant involvement in the first goal, laying it off to Kayembe. He drifted in pace, and he just went past the defender, and I thought that was very good. Kiram Gard, not someone that I want to start up top. Obviously, he did get his goal against Bristol City. But obviously, given Dumbia's suspension, we don't really have anyone else bar Semedo, and Semedo isn't going to start. We know Semedo's probably not going to start, so he's not going to play there. And then on the right, I think we need to see more of him, but again, no real option. So I've gone for Nestri Arankunda, a player that I like. I really, really like. I think he's really quality. And maybe we'll win a free kick in a dangerous area, and maybe we'll get another free kick goal. But I would like to see him score from open play. I thought he was unlucky against Bristol City not to get a goal because that was a really, really good shot. But no, that concludes my starting 11, 4-3-3. And I think that is two changes from the win at Bristol City. Now, moving on to Caden's starting 11. So I'll go to you on this one, Caden. Fire away with your starting 11.
Well, thank you, Liam. So starting in goal for me has to be Selvik. I'm not going to go into the reasoning there. And Funi retaining his place at left back. Now Pollock. Now I've heard he's touch and go. I probably wouldn't start him. I'd probably go with Gogliachidze. So I'd have Gogliachidze and Abankwah. And Gakia, I think that's very, very self-explanatory. Again, two more self-explanatory picks in the midfield in Mendy and Loser. Now, Kayembe. I'd start Edo Kayembe. I thought he was very, very good against Bristol City. And I think that performance alone deserves a start. And I'm really starting to believe a theory that I don't want to be true because I don't think he's a very good player. But the theory may be without Kayembe, we don't win. So, yeah, I think he's got to start. Chakvadatse, again, I think that's a pretty obvious-ish pick. We have no one else. And also, he was very, very impressive against Bristol City. Same with Kayembe. Kieran the only viable striker option with Dumbia being suspended. And let's face it, Semedo isn't good enough. And you can't look at the academy and say, yeah, go on and do your best. You can't. And then to round it off, Nestri Irankunda. So yeah, that would be my 11. 4-3-3. Kayembe in the midfield. Gogliachidze at the back. Kieran Gard leading the line.
Before I move on to Harry and George's 11, I've got to say, I didn't expect the words of Kayembe, we seem to win when he's in the team, to come out of your mouth. And I also didn't expect him to be in your starting 11. So fair play, you proved me wrong. And I completely agree with you. He has to play in midfield. I know I didn't pick him, but when he plays, he's really, really good. So I think that he's probably a prominent choice in midfield, although Bove could come in, but I can't see that, even though I've put him in my starting 11. Now, moving on to Harry's starting 11. Fire away, Harry.
So, in goal, I'm going to go with Mr. Egil Selvik. I think we all know the reasons why for that. Going at right back, we've got Jeremy, Mr. Consistent in Gakia. He's been great. We just discussed him, and he should be consistently in the side for the remaining games of the season, bar any injuries, knock on wood. And then we've got Abankwah and Gogliachidze. they seem to be like improvement centre-back partnership. They're kind of our Pollock and Elaine from earlier on in the season, and they work really well together, which I don't know how, but they work really well. At left back, we've got Mfuni. He's been our best player since he's come in. He's been magnificent, and I just see him playing for England one day. He's great. Then in the midfield, we've got Loser and Nepalese Mendy. They're going to be consistently in the team for remaining games of the season. Loser has dropped in form, but he needs to rack up some goals and assists coming to the remaining games of the season. If he doesn't start doing that, I don't see us getting playoffs. He needs to start performing like he's the best player in the championship. And Nepalese Mendy, he has been fantastic. That's a proven reason why Javi Gracia wasn't trusted by many fans. He has been awesome. Then going to the left, Chatvatadze on the left. Now, this is not something that I really want to see. However, as Liam said and Caden said, we're short for options, and throwing an academy player in never really works out well, unless they're from Manchester City's academy. And so I will be going with Chatvatadze, and his goal involvement against Bristol City was great. Apart from that, I didn't really see much from him. He made a couple of mistakes, but he's a player of moments, and if he keeps giving moments like that, he's going to consistently be in the side. On the right, I'm going to be going with Iran Kunda. Again, we're short on options. I'd love to put Mama there or a Bar there, but he's a very good player, very talented player. He needs to utilise that speed he has and hopefully grab some more goals. If he starts firing goals like he did earlier on in the season, I can see us push for playoffs, as I just said for Loser. Then, in the middle, I'll be going with the GOAT, Edo Kayembe. He has been absolutely a rock in the midfield and in the attack for the last 3 to 4 games. I think he is the glue in this team, and hopefully he can guide us with a couple more goals and assists, as he did twice against Bristol City. And to the contrary of Caden, it's not like I don't want this to happen. I want this to happen because he's a likeable player, and hopefully with him in the side, we can push on and get 7 to 8 wins in the remaining 11. And at centre forward, I'll be going with Luca Kerengard. And they came out with an article today talking about how he's confident. And hopefully that confidence makes that 10-goal tally 15 pushing 20. He needs to bag going into the remaining game season. And without Dumbia, we're going to need him to be on top form because Vivado Semedo is not a replacement for him. I'm sorry. He is our best centre forward at the club who's available. And I could see him grabbing a couple of goals against Sheffield Wednesday.
Thank you for that, Harry. I agree with you on the Kayembe thing. When he adds goals to the team, because I think when he hits a ball and hits it well, he normally scores. I think he's got a rocket on him at times. Not as good as the Jeremy Ngakia one that I'll keep reflecting back on at Bristol City, but we've seen a lot of goals. Per example, I think he scored one at Blackburn, which was pretty good. And there's lots of other examples that I could use, but we're not going to get into that now. Now, moving into George's starting 11 for the game against Sheffield Wednesday tonight. George, tell us why you've picked these players in the starting 11.
So, for my starting 11, I have done an unchanged 11 for like the 4th time in a week now. because I've gone unchanged because when we did play against Bristol City away, I thought we did look very good, to be fair. So in goal, obviously I do go Egil Selvik. Who else would we play? Jonathan McCauley, I don't know. So at the back, I would play Jeremy Ngakia and Stefan Mfuni as the fullbacks because Ngakia, self-explanatory, and Mfuni on the left because he's a very good player to have in the starting 11 and he is eligible to play at left back. So I believe that we should play him there so then we are able to still get 2 very good centre-backs in our 11 so in their main positions, and the reason I did choose Goglachitse over Matty Pollock was because just as a little bit of a doubt. So as my 2 holding midfielders, I will be playing Nampalys Mendy and Imran Loser. And the reason that I've chose them two is just they're both brilliant. Like, they're players that we do need in that position because, like, yes, they've had a small dip in form, but they're still very good. So on the wings, I will be playing Georgi Shakvadatsi and Nestri Irankunda because they do both provide that that extra bit of like flair and dribble down the wing that they can easily do. And then as my right striker, I will be playing Luca Kierangard, and then at the left I'll be playing oh, I forgot the chant. Edo Koyembe.
Thank you so much for that, George. Now, before I hand back over to Caden for the rest of tonight's episode, I want to get everyone's score predictions for tonight's game. So I'll go to mine first. I think it's not going to be easy. I think it's a Watford way to not be easy in this match. So I've gone for a tight 1-0 victory. I think the goal will come in the 52nd minute. I'm going to guess that. If I call that right, everyone come back to this video and say, Liam, you're amazing. But no, I'm going to go for a 1-0 victory with, let's go for a Nestri Irankunda goal. I say it every week. I really hope it happens. So I'm going to go for a Nestri Irankunda goal. Whether it's from a free kick or open play or a penalty, I don't care. He's going to score. Now, I'll go to Caden first. Score predictions for this evening's match.
Well, look, I'm in two minds. On one mind, I'm saying, oh, it's so Watfordy to go to Hillsborough and lose. But on the other side, I'm thinking, they're bottom of the league. They're already relegated. We have to win. I think it'll be a draw. I don't see us winning it because it's just very Watfordy of us. So I'll go with a 1-1 draw. Kayembe to score the goal.
Gosh, we're getting a lot of Kayembe shouts in this video, which is unusual from you, Caden, but I like it. Now, Harry, going to you next. What's your score prediction for this evening's match?
Well, it would be very Watfordy for us to give him a point or to lose this game, but I feel like we're revitalised under Ed Still in his first 4 games, and I see us getting a 3-1 win with them scoring first, but us coming back into the game, getting 1 before half-time and getting 2 more in the second half. And I could see a goal by Edo Kayembe, a goal by Kierangard, and a loser goal to make it 3-1.
I like that. I don't care. I want to keep a clean sheet, obviously, because looking at them, they're at -7, but they do have some good defenders. I quite like Liam Cooper, who used to play for Leeds. He's a good defender. Now, George, going to you on your score predictions. What do you think tonight's match score will be, and do you think it'll be tight?
So I think it will be a 2-1 victory for the Hornets with Edo Kayembe scoring and Eduardo Bove goal when he comes off the bench in like the 67th minute maybe. And I think for Sheffield Wednesday's goal, I think it might be Ingleson. I think it's their defensive midfielder or their attacking midfielder. I've not really seen much of him, but all I know is that he's relatively good.
Thank you for that. Thank you, everyone, for the preview segment. Now I'm going to hand over back to Caden for the rest of the episode.
Well, brilliant hosting as always there, Liam. So we're now moving on from the Sheffield Wednesday preview. That kicks off at 7:45 this evening. Now, the question is, are we in crisis when it comes to the summer transfer window, considering our reliance on the loan market and the amount of expirations of loans within our team? George, I'm going to start with you on this one. What are your thoughts?
Wait, you're able to repeat that latter bit of the question, sorry?
So are we in crisis come the summer transfer window, considering our reliance on the loan market, considering the expirations of contracts that will be taking place unless we extend the loan spells?
Okay, thank you. So I think to some extent we are going to be very screwed because obviously players like Goglachitse and Funi. Sorry, I'm just getting up all of our loan players. Caden's favourite player, Luca Kieremgaard. Like, there's going to be a lot of outgoings, especially considering all of the players that will be sold on a permanent, like Imran Loser, probably Marma, Chakvedazzi, and obviously Edo Kayembe's contract expiring. So we are going to be under a very large threat coming to the new season, unless Gino needs to put in some serious money, because we'll be losing at least 30 million worth of players. Because I think maybe Loser and Marma will go for a combined 30 million, maybe like 15 each. So yeah, I think we will be in quite a large crisis come to the summer.
Well, yeah, let's face it, we're screwed. The loan market, we always love to exploit, and it's worked against us because of the amount of players that we have loaned in who are going to go at the end of the season, plus the permanents. And as you said, George, Loser probably will go, Marma probably will go. Combined 30 million, absolutely not. It will be more than that if they do go. But we definitely are in a state of crisis considering what we have done, and it's all been inflicted because the owner just wants cheap stuff. Harry, what are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm in a bit of agreement with you two. I think we will be slightly screwed without all of our loan players, and especially the great players that we have leaving on a transfer fee, such as Loser and Mama. I'm in agreement with you, Caden, here that it has to be more than 30 million. It has to be around 50, pushing 60 for us to get a sizable amount of money to reinvest if we reinvest it. I think the prospects with the playoffs extended could push Gino Pozzo to invest slightly more, as our chances of playoffs and Premier League promotion increasing. However, I'm a bit worried as we have 7 or 8 players in the club on loan. But there's a good thing. Gino Pozzo also owns Udinese, and 3 of those players, being Abanqua, Goglachitse, and Luke Kerengard, all come from them. So we might be able to get them back on a return next season. Now, Funi, one of our best players in our side, he's from Man City's academy, and hopefully they want him to get a bit more experience in the Championship so we can get him back. But for the others, I'm worried. And with our squad shortening because players' contracts expiring, such as Kayembe, I'm starting to look a bit down for next season unless we suddenly get pushed for playoffs and get Premier League promotion. So that's my thoughts on the loan market.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. We're going to be harmed massively, and major investment is going to be needed by the board. But I just know we won't get that investment. Liam, what are your thoughts? Do you think we're in a state of crisis come the summer transfer window, considering our reliance on the loan market?
Well, look, I wouldn't say we're in a state of crisis. I do think we have to sign permanent players. As George and Harry and yourself, Caden, have said, we're likely to lose Marma, we're likely to lose Loser, and at this rate, we could even lose Jeremy Ngakia this summer. It's not something I want to say, but it's something that could happen given his recent performances. I do think we can't rely on the loan market all the time, because if we just had a half a squad full of loan players, it's not a good look when we don't really have as many permanent players. I do think some of the players we've got, as Harry said, with the Udinese links, I think maybe we could see James Abanqua in on a permanent deal this summer because he likes it here. He said in an interview this week that he's really enjoying it here. Goglachitse possibly could be back at Watford this summer. And Luca Kieremgaard, obviously it looked at the start of the season when it was reported that he was joining that he's going to join in our permanent basis in the summer, so we're likely to get him back. Now, when I look at people like Stefan Mfuni, I think it will be tough to find a replacement for him because he's been such a solid player in our defence. And when you're looking at it, well, Man City aren't probably going to give us back unless we pay a hefty amount. And I don't think we're willing to pay a hefty amount for him. And I don't think City will be willing to let someone go who's performing really, really well in the Championship and has got a bright future ahead of him. And for me, he could be playing for England one day. And I know we've talked about that a lot, but I think it'll be hard to bring someone in like him. Again, I think we need a permanent basis centre-back, because looking at the options we have, Keben, probably not good enough to play there. So we don't really want him in the team. So looking at options, I think permanent basis-wise, we definitely need, because we can't rely on the loan market all the time. Because if we're too reliant on the loan market, we're never going to have a full strength squad when come the end of each season. And, you know, there's the chance to get recalled. We saw it with Max Lane. It's like we can't rely on loans all the time. So I think we need to sign some permanent players. If we lose Loser and Mama, I think we need to sign replacements urgently in those positions. And they can't be loan players because, you know, I think loan players, like I've said, it's tough to replace such a permanent player in the team. I think they build a legacy and then they're gone pretty much unless they sign on a permanent basis. We saw it with Chatford Tadze, he did come in on a permanent basis. But no, I think it is a little bit of a crisis, as we pointed out. But I do think we've got the quality to get, well, the money to get some permanent basis players in this summer. And I would like to see James Abankwah and Goglia Chinsey, given his recent performances, coming on a permanent. I don't think we'll get Mfuni, as I said. But no, I think it is a little bit of a crisis. However, we do have the option to bring these loan players from Udinese with our links in on a permanent deal in the summer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to rely on Udinese players, but if that's the only way, it's the only way. And Gino Pozzo's always looking for the cheap way, isn't he? As we all know. Moving on then. Now, looking at the remaining games of the season, George, predict win, lose, or draw for the last 11 games of this season. You're on mute, mate.
Sorry, I didn't realise. So today, I think that we will get all 3 points against Sheffield Wednesday with a convincing 2-1 win. And then on Stoke away on Saturday, I think it'll be a 1-1 draw. I think it'll be a very tight game, considering there are a few spots beneath us in the table. And then Wrexham, I think we might just grab 3 points, 1-0 win. Leicester, 3 points. They're in the bottom three. I reckon we'll win like 2-0 quite comfortably, clean sheet. Against QPR on Good Friday, I believe that we probably will lose that. Very tight and tough place to go in Loftus Road. Then Charlton on that Monday, 6th of April, I think it will be a 1-1 draw, or it should be a draw. I can't predict the score, but I think it'll be a draw, as it is quite a tough test, considering we did lose against them on the opening game of the season. And Oxford away, I say we'll probably lose that like 1-0 or something, just like last year. Hopefully James Abankwah doesn't get sent off this season. But yeah. And for Sheffield United at home, I think hopefully we get all 3 points, because it's better to pick up all points towards them last 4 games than to get anything, because it's obviously our second last home game. Then West Brom away on a Tuesday night. I think we should be winning that, considering their table position, but cannot predict anything with Watford. Middlesbrough away, day before my birthday. I might be going up there, but hopefully we win. But we probably will lose it. No, Watford will probably lose. And Coventry at home, last game of the season, I predict us to lose that like 2-0 or something, because Coventry's outstanding this season.
Yeah, they certainly are outstanding. For me, Sheffield Wednesday away, draw. Stoke away, again, you're probably looking at a draw. Wrexham at home, I think we'll just about edge it and win. Leicester at home, well, we got to win it surely, but no, I'm going to predict us. The pessimist that I am, I'll predict us to lose that one. QPR away, lose. Charlton at home, you probably get a win. Oxford away, again, you're probably looking at a loss. Sheffield United at home, we lose that. West Brom away, we have to win that. So I'm going to predict a win there. And then last two games of the season. A loss to Borough, because let's face it, whenever we play Borough, one of the last games of the season, we normally lose it. And I'm actually going to predict a home win against Coventry City on the final day. When we played Coventry, I actually thought that we looked the better side in the second half. They only got lucky because we got a red card and was crap early on. But the second half, we were a whole different team. I thought we were actually quite impressive in the second half against Coventry, and I think we can do it. But the points that I think we'll get, we won't get the playoffs off that. Liam, what are your thoughts for the last 11 games of the season? Predict, win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, I'm Stoke. Firstly, I think it'll be tough to go there and get a result, but Sorba Thomas got sent off in their last match, which is a big blow for them. So I do think that gives us a bit of a chance. So I'm probably going to predict a narrow win, probably just get over the line. Then here's where it gets interesting, because my heart is telling me yes for Wrexham, but my head's telling me no. I think given their performance in the FA Cup against Chelsea, I watched that match and I thought they were really, really solid. They look like a top quality side. And then again, the teams around us have struggled to beat them. And I thought when we played them at the racecourse when I was there back in December, I thought we were really, really good. And we were unlucky to concede that late leveler and not take all 3 points back home. But so I'm gonna go for another win. I'm gonna say it. I'm 1-0, as George said. I think he said narrow 1-0, or Caden. I can't remember who said it, but I think we'll just get over the line. Leicester then. Now this is funny because I predicted us to beat Stoke and Wrexham, but then I think Leicester will be looking to sort of maintain their survival hopes, because this is where it gets to the big back end of the season, and when you're looking at it, Leicester have a real opportunity of relegation, and they'll be wanting to go into the international break feeling we're in a good position. We can hopefully stay up this season. So I think they're going to come to Vicarage Road and take the points. I don't think we've got the best record against Leicester. Obviously, we beat them on Boxing Day when I was there, but I don't think we've got the bestest record against them. But I think we'll just narrowly lose that one. QPR at home, away, sorry. Another loss. We beat them narrowly at the start of the season when Imran Loser got sent off for a challenge in the 90th minute, I think it was, right towards the back end of the game. I think that'll be tough to go away at QPR and beat them. We don't have the best of records against QPR away. I think last time we lost 3-1, I think, and we looked lackluster against them. So I think that'll be tough. Easter Monday, when I come back to the Vic after Leicester to watch us, I think it's a must win. I think we can win it, so I'm going to go for a win there. I think we've got the potential. Now, Oxford away then, last season we lost 1-0 as George said, and James Abankwah gets sent off. I think we're going to go there and lose, just because they look like they'll be wanting to stay up. And a lot of people have said it, and I do have to give credit to Oxford. I think they will stay up. I think, as much as I don't like Bloomfield because he managed Luton, I don't think he's a terrible manager. So I think he'll just about keep them up. I'd say they'll just about maintain their survival in the division. So that'll probably boost them if they beat us. Sheffield United at home, again, tough. They've been really good recently. They've got back into the top half. Obviously, the lackluster start of the season when we played them, but we still lost to them when Javi Gracia's first game back. We still lost to them. But I think I'm gonna go a draw for that match. I don't think I've predicted a draw yet, so I think that'll be a draw. West Brom away, again, must win, given our last 2 games of the season. I think we're going to go there and win. I think West Brom are going to go down. Sorry if any West Brom fans are watching this for any weird reason. I just think they're going to go down. So I think we'll get a result there. Borough's where it gets interesting. And this is what I find funny. We always tend to play Borough towards like the end of the season away. Like I remember we had them on the final day a couple of years back, and we never seem to win there. And I think it'll be tough to go and get a result, because I don't think Borough might still be challenging for the title then. So for me, I think I'm going to predict a draw. I think we'll get a draw there. I think it'll be tough, yes, but I do think we've got the quality to get a draw there. Now Coventry on the final day. Hopefully they've won the title by then, and they'll be celebrating, and they'll put forward a Leicester XI on the final day, and hopefully that might give us a win that we're looking for to get us in the playoffs. With my predictions, it's looking optimistic. I think maybe given my predictions, we could get there. So I'm going to be optimistic, and we're going to get a crunching victory. I think we're going to be narrow. I think it's going to be tight, but I think we're going to get the victory. As Caden said, when we played him earlier in the season, we looked completely the better side despite losing 3-1. I thought we were pretty much incredible. So yeah, I think that these matches come crucial, especially the ones that I've mentioned: Oxford, Sheffield United, West Brom, Borough, Cov, after the international break. I think that's where it gets to the point where we need to win these games. So I'm going to say that we're going to narrowly get that final playoff spot, and we can come back to this when I'm wrong, but I think we're narrowly going to get the final playoff spot.
Very, very optimistic of you there, Liam. Harry, what are your thoughts? The last 11 games of the season, win, lose, or draw?
Well, as Liam is, I'm also an optimist. So here is my last 11 games. As I said before, I got a 3-1 win against Sheffield Wednesday. Then moving on to Stoke. I was there for the first fixture of the season, which we won 1-0. And I think we're going to do the same again. It's going to be a nick from Luca Kerengard, as he did at home. And he's going to get a sneak a 1-0 win. Very undeserved, but we'll grab it. Then for the Wrexham game, I know everyone so far said it's going to be a win. I'm going for a draw. I think we're going to play it safe. I think they're going to play it safe. And no one's going to want to win or lose. And so we're just going to go for a draw. And it will keep us close from them. Moving on to Leicester. I was also at that Boxing Day fixture away from home. And it was a fantastic away performance. One of the best under Javi Gracia. And I think we're going to do another fantastic performance again. We're going to need to recuperate after that Wrexham performance, and we're going to grab a 2-1 win as we did before. Moving on to QPR, I feel like we always do quite well against QPR, and they look weak at the moment. There's talk about their manager getting sacked, and I see us grabbing a 4-1 win and their manager being sacked that night. That's my prediction for the QPR game. Moving on swiftly, I'm going to go to Charlton. And this is where I see a little slip in our form. And Nathan Jones, I hate him. He was a good Luton manager, so I automatically hate him. And I hope that we smash him, but we're probably going to lose 1-0 to a scrappy goal from them playing anti-football nonsense. Moving on, I'm going to go to Oxford. We're going to have a bounce back. And I know they're a good team, pushing to stay alive in this division, but I see us grabbing a 2-0 win. I know there recently we've not been very good, but I can see us putting on the after breaks and grabbing 2 late goals, 2-0. Then to Sheffield United. We never do well against Sheffield United. And they're a good side. They've been underwhelming this season due to Ruben Sellers at the start. And I could see us losing 1-0 at home. Moving on to West Brom, I think, as Liam said before, and I've said before many times, I said it on Caden's Twitter stream months ago, and I think West Brom will be going down alongside Oxford and West Brom and Sheffield United Wednesday. And West Brom will be poor, be dead and buried, and will smash them 3-0. That's my prediction for that game. Then the Middlesbrough game. I'm right now banking on the fact that they're already promoted. If they're already promoted, I see us getting a 2-1 win. If they're not, it varies. But let's say they are 2-1 win, good performance, and to get a win against that Hellberg side will be fantastic. And the last day of the season, I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw against Coventry, a last-minute equaliser by Chatford Tadze to get his first goal of the season to get us in playoffs by goal difference. There we go. 74 points.
Well, I do love that optimism. Unfortunately, I can't be that optimistic with Watford, and I don't think that we are actually very good. Just quickly, before we wrap up tonight's episode, I'm going to ask the team what their favourite Watford chant is. So, George, I'm going to start with you very, very quickly. What is your favourite Watford chant?
Oh, it's got to be the man, the myth, the legend. Ero Kayembe. That's all I'm singing. You're not getting anything more out of me.
Well, to be fair, that Edo Kayembe chant is very, very good. So I'll give you the plaudits there. You didn't need to sing it, but there you are. It's between, for me, it's between the Kayembe chant, Iran Kundas, and you've got to go classic with Since I Was Young. Brilliant chance. Brilliant chance. Harry, what's your favourite Watford chant?
Well, I'm stuck in between two. So my first one would be, well, it's originally the Igalo chant, and it moved to João Pedro, and now Semedo, who I think is undeserving for this chant because it's for great players and he's not one of them. And the other one would be for Javi Grazia's chant, which I know he's gone, but that chant is phenomenal. I sang it at Norwich away and Leicester away earlier on in the season, and he does drink sangria, but not this season, unfortunately.
Yeah, to be fair, that Javi Gracia chant is a shout. Loved it when he was with us. It's a shame he's not with us anymore, but I've come to the realisation that he probably did need to go. Liam, what's your favourite Watford chant?
I'm sort of in agreement with George with the Edo Kayembe. No, but I'm going to go for the Off-Main Mama chant. Now, when I hear that, it just makes me so happy because it's just a really good chant. It's got some fluidity to it, and I really, really love it. I think it's a really, really good chant. I'm not going to sing it, and I don't get to sing it tomorrow, so I'm a bit sad. Today, sorry, but I'm a bit sad about that. But no, I'd have to give it to the Off-Main Mama chant. But George, very good shout. I agree with you. And Caden, I do love the Edo Kayembe chant.
Yeah, well, as much as I slate Kayembe, he's got a bloody good chant. Well, thank you all for watching this week's episode. Make sure to tune in on Thursday night for the Hornet Talk Podcast Unfiltered. Harry, have you really enjoyed Unfiltered so far?
Yeah, I thought it's very interesting to see what everyone has to say about Watford FC. I know the last episode of Unfiltered was mainly about Tottenham being super poor, as we didn't have a Watford game that weekend. But it's been good fun so far, and I hope everyone joins in and talks about the game against Sheffield Wednesday tonight, as well as the upcoming games, going and pushing for that playoffs, which we will get. Yeah,
it shall be good. So tune in on Thursday at 8 p.m. It's brilliant, the new Unfiltered. Now, I'm just going to take a moment just to say that from now on, we're also going to be having match day vlogs on the YouTube as well as the TikTok. So, Liam, just explain to the viewers what you're going to be doing with that.
So in terms of the matchday vlogs, then we're going to have a little shortened one on the TikTok because it's short content, and then on the YouTube we're going to have an expanded one which will include, well, the introduction, of course. Then while we're getting towards the ground, I've got each of the member of the team that host Caden, George, Harry to send me in a little score prediction video for each video, and of course, some people's favourite feature, my dad's verdict on what he thinks the team is, and then all important stuff in the match, which I will record, and I'll get the team's thoughts on the match. Hopefully, after the match, I'll get them to send another quick video in if they can. But yeah, it's going to be an extended video, and yeah, I hope you enjoy it because it's something that I've been trying to put in the works for a while. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, massive plaudits to you, Liam. As you'll know, the team work incredibly hard at the Hornet Talk podcast, and they deserve a lot of credit for what they do. They work incredibly hard, and it's a pleasure of mine to work with such a great team. Well, thank you everyone for joining this evening. Thank you as always to my co-hosting team, George Frakish, Harry Phillips, and Liam Brenton. As we say, we'll be back on Thursday for the Hornet Talk Unfiltered. Make sure to enjoy your evening this evening, whether you're at today's game or you are watching from home. So we will see you on Thursday for Unfiltered and next week for the next installment of the Hornet Talk podcast. Thank you. Good night. You Horns.